Hi guys, and welcome back to my kitchen. Today we'll be making homemade pizza, garlic bread, and marinara sauce. So let's get right into that, shall we? So, the first thing you're going to want to do is prep your ingredients. Now, for this recipe, you're going to need a lot of garlic. Last week, one of my friends told me to measure garlic with my heart. But, if you're like me, and you don't trust your heart as an accurate tool of measurement, you're going to need about 3 to 4 cloves of garlic for your garlic bread, 3 to 4 cloves of garlic for your marinara sauce, and about 5 for the sauce that I'm going to be putting on my pizza later because my family does not like red sauce on their pizza. Now, a very good way to get the skin off of your garlic is, you just see me do it twice now, but take your clove, crush it with a knife, and then it just comes off super easy. Because as I have learned, it really hurts to try and pick the skin off with your nails because then it just gets under your nails and it's just a mess for everyone. An important thing to remember for this recipe is that you're going to need the sauce to cook for an hour, and your dough is also going to need to rise for an hour. So just plan ahead of time for all of that. As you can see, I'm mincing this garlic. You can use a garlic press. I'm mincing this garlic this way because it's going into my red sauce, and I prefer it to be minced by hand for that. Hi, Booper. That was my dog. Don't feed garlic to your dog. It's really bad for them. Don't feed onions to your dog. It's really bad for them. It can cause kidney failure and crap like that. So that's really good. As you can see, I have my one small yellow onion already diced up there. I didn't dice it up on camera because no one wants to see me cry. And you just use a claw shape to keep the sharp, angry blade away from your fingies because you don't want to slice your hand while you're cooking. That's no fun. Cooking should be relaxing. So once you have your minced garlic, just set it aside. I'm going to be using a garlic press later as well, not for this garlic, but for the garlic for my pizza sauce. So I'll show you several ways to mince garlic in this video, I guess. So over medium heat, you're going to want to bring a couple of tablespoons of olive oil to a bare simmer and just add your garlic and your onions. I have my onions in leftover Chinese takeout containers because I prepped them earlier. You're just going to want to heat those a little bit so you can just bring out all of their flavors. You'll notice I'm using the big stock pot type thing instead of a pan because all of our other ingredients for our red sauce are going to go into this pan as well. So just cook that for a couple of minutes over medium heat. So while your onions and garlic are cooking on the stovetop, you'll want to take 3 1/2 cups of flour, 2 tablespoons of salt, 2 1/4 teaspoons of instant yeast, and 1 teaspoon of sugar, and combine them in the bowl of a stand mixer. You'll just want to combine that on a very low speed with a paddle attachment. Once combined, you want to add 1 1/2 cups of water and 2 tablespoons of olive oil. And then you'll just want to beat it until a ball forms. While your dough is forming a ball in your stand mixer, you're going to want to add 1/2 can of tomato paste to your onion and garlic and continue to slowly cook it. This will give it the flavor of being roasted for a really long time, even though we're only going to cook it for about an hour. Stir it until it's all homogeneous, and then let it continue cooking. Let me just show you what that looks like. And there you have it. So, while that is cooking, you're going to want to turn your dough out onto a lightly floured work surface and just start to knead it. So the way I'm doing it is just sort of pushing it back and forth and then folding it. So you're just going to want to knead this until it's elastic and forms into a ball really easily. You want to knead your dough with the bottoms of your palms and your wrists. Just really push forward and backwards. Again, what you're looking for is a smooth, elastic consistency, so when it can stretch without tearing, you're done kneading. I am not quite there yet, so I will just continue kneading. This is a great arm workout, if that's something you're looking for in your day-to-day routine. This quantity of dough, once it has risen, should make about 2 pizzas. So if you need to make like 4, I would double it. So after about 7 minutes of kneading for me, because I'm not the world's strongest person, we have the smooth elastic ball of dough. Now what we're going to do is grease our bowl, about 2 teaspoons worth of olive oil, and a paper towel. Just get the olive oil everywhere you can, all over the bowl. You're going to put your dough back in the bowl. Cover it with a clean dish towel. You're going to wait about an hour for it to rise. It should double in size. So if you recall from earlier, our sauce also needs to cook for an hour. So this is the time to finish it. You're going to take 1 can of tomatoes, a sprig of basil. This is from our garden because we have it in there. And then you're just going to stir it around. Make sure everything is even, dispersed, cooking nicely. And I'm going to put a timer on for an hour, which you can share with your bread. You're going to cover it and simmer it over low heat for that amount of time. Right now is a great time to clean up the mess you made while you were running around your kitchen making 2 things at once, because you have a whole hour. So let's do that. Once you clean up your kitchen, you're going to remember that you need to add Italian seasoning and oregano to your sauce. Or you could do that before you clean up your kitchen because you're smart and you remember things. Either way, just add it. After you've cooked that for an hour, you're going to want to dig through there for your spent sprigs of basil because no one wants to eat that. That's just gross. So pull those out, set them aside to be disposed of. They were just in there for flavor. And then your sauce is done. So we will move on with everything else. So the next thing you're going to want to do is take your risen dough and cut it into 2 pieces, which is a little harder than it sounds. You're going to want to sit those 2 pieces on your counter and cover them with your dish towel again to rise for 10 additional minutes. With this time, we're going to make the sauce to go on our pizza. So to make our sauce for this pizza, I'm going to take my 5 cloves of garlic that we prepped an hour ago. I'm going to put them through my garlic press. This is the other way to mince garlic. It's a lot easier and you get a lot more finely minced garlic, but it doesn't end up giving you as much flavor, I don't think. But it's fine for this sauce, particularly since we are putting a ton of garlic in it. Mince all 5 cloves, and then we'll get to the next step. Once you've minced all 5 of your garlic cloves, you're going to want to put in about 3 tablespoons of olive oil. Yes, I just eyeballed that, and whisk it all together. Now you have oily garlic, basically, and that is going to be the base sauce for our pizza. Of course, you can always use the red sauce I just showed you how to make, but my family doesn't really like the taste of cooked tomatoes, so I just made that for our garlic bread, which is what we're going to be moving on to. So the first thing you're going to want to do is melt 1 stick of unsalted butter in your microwave. You're going to want to take your bread of choice and slice it in half lengthwise. This is some French bread from the grocery store. As you can see, I've sliced it in half lengthwise. You know, really skillfully. Totally didn't tear it apart the last bit with my hands. You're going to put those loaves of bread on a baking sheet like so. And now you're going to mince your last 3 cloves of garlic into your unsalted butter. I might actually use more than 3 cloves of garlic here, because why would you want garlic bread that just tastes like bread? That's a waste of everyone's time. But mince as much garlic as you want into your butter. You know, measure your garlic with your heart. You're also going to want to mince about 1.5 tablespoons worth of parsley, all the while you're cursing yourself for not doing this while you had a whole hour while your sauce was cooking. But you know, you're not smart like that. So it do be like that sometimes. You're going to take your garlic and butter mixture and just brush that all over your bread. Making sure you've got chunks of garlic all over it. You really want it to soak into the spongy surface of the top of it. Just coat every piece of bread with your butter and garlic mixture. Trying not to get garlic all over your hands, but inevitably do so. Then we're going to take your garlic bread and put it into your 375-degree Fahrenheit oven for 8 minutes. By the time you've done that, your dough should have proved up nicely. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to roll it out. Now, if you are competent in stretching your dough in like the fancy way, I would definitely recommend doing that, because rolling it with a rolling pin knocks all the air bubbles out of it. However, I am not skilled and I do not know how to toss dough above my head, so I'm just rolling it out with a rolling pin to the size of my pan. So once you've rolled or stretched out your dough, your choice, you're going to want to take your sauce that you made earlier, either the red one or this like white olive oil one I showed you how to do with the garlic. And you're going to coat every single part of your pizza that's going to have toppings on it with the sauce. Once you've added your sauce, you're going to want to add your cheese. I'm just using mozzarella here. And make sure you completely coat every part of the pizza that isn't around the edges. So you're going to want quite a bit of cheese there. And then you can just add whatever toppings you want. As you can see, my pizza's kind of boring. I've just added some Kalamata olives. That's what I like on it, so that's the way I'm going to cook it. So when you have whatever you want on your pizza, you're going to put it into your 475-degree Fahrenheit oven. You're going to cook it for 10 to 15 minutes. Okay guys, so there you have it. Garlic bread with red sauce and super cheesy, yummy, delicious, doughy pizza. So that's the whole recipe. Hope you try it at home. One. We're good?
Wow. that is indescribable. That's fantastic.
It is really good pizza though, guys. Okay, bye.